Welcome back for another video. Final video of the week then. We're going to recap all the latest news from today's press conferences, and we're going to answer all your biggest FPL dilemmas and questions for Gameweek 5. Let's get into it. Help Mbappe win with his fantasy football team, and let's prove that FPL managers are the best fantasy managers anywhere in the world. So Rare is a free-to-play fantasy football game. It's kind of similar to FPL, but you pick 5 players every match with a few twists. Mbappe's got a rivalry going with his little brother. The prizes are actually insane right now. Win shirts signed by your favourite players, VIP tickets to matches, so rare cards to use in games, or if you can score 400 points, you can meet Mbappe himself. So I'm just doing my team now. Since I know the Premier League better than other leagues, that's how I'm going to do my team mostly. So Alisson in goal. I'm going to go with Trent as my defender. Salah's not a midfielder in so rare, so I'm going to go with Bellingham. He's home to Espanyol. And then I've got a limited Salah card from a couple of years back, so I'm going to use that. And then I'll go with Robertson as my extra, so all in on Liverpool basically. And then Salah captain this week. Click the link below to play free and enter a team now. I've played for years and it's an awesome game that complements FPL nicely. First question from Fabian, who asks who the best replacements for Muniz are, which is also a good opportunity to discuss the best budget forwards in general right now. I've got 3 replacements, all of which can be afforded in one move: Calvert-Lewin, Vardy and Welbeck. Calvert-Lewin did miss the League Cup midweek with illness, but he's back in training, so he's definitely an option, and he does have the best fixtures of the 3. Vardy's got 2 goals and 4 as well, but he's only taken 3 shots, while Calvert-Lewin's taken 6. Welbeck has got 2 goals, 1 assist. He's got the best underlying numbers of the 3, but the worst fixtures of the 3, but obviously in the best team of the 3. Long term, my favourite would be Calvert-Lewin for 5.9 mil. My gut feeling is they'll get a result away at Leicester and win the game. And although 2 and 4 is impressive for Vardy, it's from 3 shots as we said, and you could argue the fact that he's 37 is a factor as well. Welbeck I like only if you're going to wildcard in Gameweek 6, so essentially a 1 week replacement. But it should be pointed out how good Forest have impressed defensively, who Brighton are playing. They're 3rd after Liverpool and Man City for expected goals conceded. If I was to rank them in order, it'd be Calvert-Lewin, Vardy and then Welbeck. I've seen Delap mentioned a few times as well. He does look a real talent, but his minutes have been a bit all over the place. He didn't make it to 60 last match. Casper asks who to start between Gabriel, Konsa and Robinson. Now Gabriel off the back of a 15-pointer, Konsa with the best fixture, and Robinson with a bit more attacking threat. This one's a close one, but I'd go with Konsa of the 3. If you've got a defender dilemma, on the FPL Focal app you can go on the menu and then go to FPL odds, and you'll get the clean sheet and goal scorer probabilities every game week from Check the Chance. It's completely free. It's quite helpful when you've got these defender or maybe even goalkeeper dilemmas, and obviously captaincy as well with the goal scorer odds. Obviously sometimes your own intuition's needed though, if one defender's got no attacking threat while the other's got loads. Villa have got a 36% chance this week, Fulham 22%, so I'd back the probabilities here. Robinson first on the bench. So one piece of news today is Isak. Hal said he's taken a knock to his foot, and we'll find out more today and then I'll make a decision. And he says hopefully it's not too bad. So Jordan asks what to do with Isak. The problem with Hal is he's infamously the worst at telling us anything helpful in his press conferences. Like there's every chance he's already been ruled out, but it's also possible they are going to make that late call and he could start. If you've got a strong option first on your bench, then I'd keep him. Otherwise I'd cut your losses and sell him. If you've got the money, Watkins is a standout replacement, but you're going to need 0.5 mil to fund that. If you watch the experts video, some of those were going Isak down to a budget forward from that first segment, and then Saka to Salah, and then captain Salah. So let's discuss that Saka to Salah one then. Time is an Illusion asks, is Saka to Salah with Gameweek 5 captaincy worth a -4 here? This one feels like a really tight call and it could have a huge swing as well. If you've got Isak and Saka, then I'd just about go for this one. Last season, Arsenal vs City had the total of 1 goal across the home and away games, whereas Salah tops the goal scorer probabilities this week and the game week projections, plus you're selling Isak who is a doubt. I actually think Haaland to Watkins and Saka to Salah is also a tight one, but it's a very aggressive move, obviously selling Haaland with such high ownership. That one I personally wouldn't do, but I could definitely see it coming off if you're an aggressive FPL manager, as Arsenal did keep Haaland quiet last season, and Watkins does have Wolves and he's showing good form now. Simon asks, is this real life, is this just fantasy? I've looked into this one, unfortunately we're caught in a landslide, there's no escape from reality. Bernie asks if wildcarding in Gameweek 6 is a necessity. It absolutely isn't. As the catchphrase goes, it is very team dependent. Wildcarders are going to be building towards a core of triple Arsenal, Bumo, Haaland, maybe Palmer, maybe Semenyo. If you've already got most of that core on your team, then it's not a necessity. Using my team as an example here, in Gameweek 6 I can sell Salah and Smith Rowe for Palmer and Bumo, or I could sell Salah and Cannon for Bumo and Havertz. Neither team is screaming for a wildcard to be used, but obviously if João Pedro is an ongoing problem, plus if any other issues pop up in addition to Quansah already being one on my bench, then it will be tempting to use it to clean up the team, and to get triple Arsenal, which both are lacking. Gameweek 7 is also a good wildcard window. Fade Force asks about West Ham from Gameweek 6 onwards. He says it looks like a good run of fixtures to Gameweek 20, so he's looking at Bowen, Kudus and Mavropanos. Yeah, West Ham another one that the Gameweek 6 wildcards are no doubt going to be looking at. They've not really been in our thinking for the most part from the start of the season because of the poor fixtures, but from Gameweek 6 it's Brentford, Ipswich, Spurs, Man United, Forest, Everton and Newcastle. I like Bowen more than Kudus and I'd pay the extra 1.1 mil for that. In defence, wildcarders could go for Ariel and Fabianski, which gives you a guaranteed keeper for 8.5 mil. Emerson would be my pick of the defenders rather than Mavropanos, assuming his knee injury is not serious. He's yellow flagged at the moment. In right back, there's Wan-Bissaka and Soufal competing, so that's a no-go. Whereas Cresswell probably won't get a sniff all season at left back. Some other important FPL news. João Pedro will train today ahead of Gameweek 5 with a late decision to made on his involvement. I've got the full quote here, which is, he will train with the team on Friday, then we'll have to see how it's going. If he can train fully, if he can do all the movements, we won't take any risks, but he will be part of training. Hurzeler's turning into another Howl here. It's not particularly helpful information, it's quite open to interpretation. He wasn't in their League Cup squad midweek, and I do wonder if we might see him benched, or perhaps not even in the squad. I've moved him to my bench for now in my team and started Conser. I'll run through my final team in a moment. Let us know in the comments what your feeling is on João Pedro. I ran a poll on Twitter as well, and the results were as follows. 39.6% say he starts, 50.9% say bench, 9.5% say not in the squad at all. So if there's any wisdom in the crowd here, it is one to think about if you had him starting in your team. I'm sure in some cases you'll have no choice but to play him if there's no good option on your bench, but if you've got a 50-50 call like Conser and João Pedro, which I do, then using that bench is a consideration. In case you missed it, Saka is fine after his injury substitution last weekend. He started in the Champions League against Atalanta, which ended in a 0-0 draw. Raya saved a penalty to clinch the point. He's saved 4 of the 8 penalties that he's faced now, by the way. Sterling came on for Saka at 73 minutes, so Saka's in line for a start against City. Slots revealed that Alisson's a doubt for Gameweek 5 with a reported hamstring tightness, and he's going to be assessed today. Now this one's a real headache as well, because if you've got him, it's not definitive. If you've got him, keep an eye out for some early team news tomorrow. We'll be covering it as usual on the deadline stream, so make sure you subscribe. We have a good chance of knowing before the deadline if he's in the squad or not, and if there is no news, I think I'd just keep him. In fact, on that subject, keep an eye out for Liverpool news in general, just in case Slot benches one of Jota or Diaz. Now, Gakpo played really well in the Champions League, and Slot said himself he would have started him in Gameweek 4, if not for his heavy involvement over the international break. And he's been saying a lot of good things about Darwin as well. He's yet to get his first league start. Watkins came off early in the Champions League as well, and there were some fears of an injury, but Emery said he's working well, he played well, and I decided to change him like another player. He's okay. De Bruyne came off in the Champions League as well with an injury in his case. There were rumours that he's out for the game against Arsenal, and he was asked in his press conference about KDB, and he basically gave nothing away. He said he's a bit better, and he said they've got training later, and he was pressed on his involvement, and he said he could be involved. So finishing up with my final team then, it's Henderson in goal, it's Trent, Dunk, Porro and Conser in defence, Smith Rowe, Rodgers, Saka, Eze, Salah in midfield, and it's Haaland up top on his own. So as it stands, I've benched João Pedro for Conser now. If there's any early team news that Quansah starts, then I'll swap him in for Conser instead, Salah captain, Haaland vice. The plan is to roll the transfer this week and then spend them both in Gameweek 6, or wildcard, and take those 2 free transfers over to Gameweek 7. Saka's the only one in my team with an away fixture this week, which is promising. Thanks for watching. If this video was helpful, hit subscribe. We'll be live here for the deadline tomorrow as well. See you then.